Hello everyone, this is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video I have a brand new crochet pattern release for you. This is my pink ribbon tote bag. It measures 10 by 10, but that doesn't count the handles. Now you can make the handles as long as you want or as short as you want. And this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath the video. Now, like I said, this is a brand new pattern release that I released for October because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, this bag is the perfect size to put your books or your iPad or a notepad or your phone just to tote along with you, or maybe even your latest crochet or knitting project just to take along with you. To make the pink ribbon tote bag, you're going to need 1 each of the Red Heart Soft Essential yarns. We're going to be using the Greyhound and the Peony for our pink. Now each skein of yarn has 5 ounces and 131 yards, and this is a chunky number 5. You can use any chunky number 5 yarn that you want to use for this project. You don't have to use this particular yarn. I chose it because I really liked it for this project. We're going to be stitching today with our K hook. The K hook is a 6.50 millimeter hook. You're also going to need a needle with a great big eye in it because this is a chunky yarn. And of course, you'll need a pair of scissors. So go grab your supplies and we'll get started. The first thing that we need to do is make our slip knot. Now we're going to chain 26 chains. We're starting at the bottom of our bag. We're going to make a flat portion and then we'll work our way up around the bag. So let's chain 26 chains. All right, this is my 26 chains, and this is going to be, like I said, the bottom of the bag. We're going to begin stitching single crochets in the second chain from the hook. This is our first chain, so we'll go in that second chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. And we'll do this all the way across our chain. 1 single crochet in each chain across. Now normally I tell you not to stitch too tightly, but because we're making a bag and this is the bottom, it's okay to stitch this bottom portion a little bit tighter than you usually do, because we want a nice tightly stitched bottom of our bag so things don't fall through it. Almost there. All right, here's my last single crochet. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And this is your first row of single crochet. So now we're going to turn. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn, and we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. And we'll do this all the way across this row. 1 single crochet in each single crochet across Then we'll chain 1 and turn. So I finished this second row of single crochets, and now I'm going to repeat this for 2 more rows. So for 2 more rows, I'm just going to place 1 single crochet in each single crochet across, chain 1 and turn, so that we have a total of 4 rows of single crochet. 1 single crochet, each single crochet across, chain 1, turn, and repeat, so that we have 4 rows of single crochet, which will form the bottom of our bag. This would probably be a great place if you want to pause the video for a few minutes so that you can catch up and do those 4 rows of single crochet. So this is what your 4 rows of single crochet should look like. And this is the bottom of our tote bag. This next row is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to work it through with you. We're going to chain 1 and turn again. We're going to stitch across just like we did, 1 single crochet in each single crochet. Then we're going to place 4 single crochets on the end. We're going to turn and we're going to place 1 single crochet and each single crochet working down this side. Then we'll turn and place 4 single crochets in the end again, and then join to the first single crochet. It's not real complicated, but it can be a little confusing if you've never stitched down the edge. So let's go ahead and get started. 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. And this, of course, is exactly like we've been doing. I single crochet just like we've been doing up this row, and now we're going to place 4 single crochets in the end of this row. So we're just going to go in and place them evenly. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we don't want to add any extra for the corners because this is going to help the bag start to turn up the edge. So we place those 4, and now we're going to go down the other side, and this of course is where we started, where our chain started, and we're just going to put a single crochet in each stitch across, and make sure you place 25 single crochets, because that's how many stitches we have on the other side, and we want to keep it even. So we're just stitching down, placing 1 single crochet in each stitch across, and then make sure that we have 25 stitches so that both sides are even. And if you look, you can already see where the bag wants to curl up a little bit, and that's exactly what we want it to do. I again stitched that row across, making sure I have my 25 stitches. And now we're going to do the second end. And we're going to do it the same. We're going to place 4 single crochets across there, just spacing them out evenly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to put our hook in and join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. So we'll just pull that through there, and chain 1. Now this is the outside and this is the inside, and so we want to make sure that we sort of curl those corners up just a little, and this will help us remember where the ends are of our bag. All right, so the next row, we're going to go all the way around with 1 single crochet in each single crochet around. And as we work this row, you're going to see that it's going to start curling up, and you'll see it come up for the sides of the bag. And we're going to go all the way around. We're going to stitch down, around, all the way up around, and back around here. 1 single crochet in each single crochet around. I single crocheted up this side, and I just want to show you how it looks going around that first end. And you just single crochet in each single crochet around. Make sure to pull your stitches in so they're not too loose, because remember, this is a bag. And you'll see how it pulls around, forming the bottom of that bag. And we'll just keep going down this next side. And I wanted you to see how that is forming there. And this also gives us a nice flat bottom for the bottom of our bag to put things in. Okay, so I'm working up this next side. And then I'll come back and show you how to do this end when I get finished with this side. So I crocheted back up the side, and now I'm ready to do those 4 single crochets at the end. Then I'll join to that first single crochet of this row and chain 1. And you can see how the bag is forming. This is the inside, of course, and this is the outside. And those corners are coming up nice. And this is going to give us a nice flat bottom for our tote bag. Now for the next 2 rows, we're going to continue doing what we did for that row. We chained 1, we're going to single crochet in the first single crochet, and then single crochet all the way around our bottom of our tote bag. And then we'll join to the first single crochet and chain 1. We're going to repeat this for 2 more rows, row 6 and row 7. And you should have an established count, because we have 25 and 25 on each side plus the 4 on the ends, and that's going to give us a total of 58 single crochets all the way around. And that stitch count will not change for the remainder of the bag. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch 2 more rounds of single crochets for the next 2 rows, this row and the next. And when we get to the end of row 7, we're going to join, but we're not going to chain 1 because we're going to be changing to our pretty pink peony color. So for 2 more rows, row 6 and row 7, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each single crochet around and join. Row 6, we're going to chain 1. Row 7, we're not, because we're changing colors. And this would be another good place to go ahead and pause your video and get these 2 rows done, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll change colors. So I finished my 7th row. I joined to my first single crochet, but I did not chain one. We're going to go ahead and cut our yarn. And we're going to grab our pink. Move my scissors there. We're going to grab our pink and join it in. Just pull a loop through, snug that down, and we're going to chain 3. And this is because we're going to be switching to doing double crochets. So we chained 3, counts as this first double crochet. So we're going to go right in that next stitch and stitch a double crochet. Now, if you're not sure what the double crochet is, you yarn over, go in that loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. And we're going to do this all the way around, 1 double crochet in each single crochet around our bag. I absolutely love this pink color. So we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way around our bag. And isn't that a pretty combination with the gray and the pretty peony pink? Here I did my row of the pink double crochet all the way around. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And this is the way the next 9 rows will be worked. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join, chain 3, and we'll do this for 9 more rows up through row 18. When we finished row 18, we're going to change back to the gray. So we're going to have a total of 10 rows of this pretty peony pink in the center of our bag. So we'll begin 1 double crochet in each double crochet around for a total of 10 rows of pink. And again, we'll do this, like I said, for a total of 10 rows of pink, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join and chain 3, just like we did on this row. And this makes for a really super easy tote bag to stitch up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch the total of 10 rows, 9 more from the one I just did, of this pink peony color. And this might be a good place again for you to just pause the video, get your 10 rows stitched, and then start again when we change colors. So just to repeat, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around for 9 more rows, or a total of 10 rows of this pretty pink stitched in double crochet. This is the way your tote bag should look after you've stitched your 10 rows of the pink. We've got our gray down here, and then our 10 rows of pink. I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. And now remember, after we did our 10th row, we joined, but we did not chain 3 because we're going to change colors back to our gray. And we're going to chain 1. And we'll put those strings inside the bag for now, and we'll weave those in a little bit later. All right, so here's our bag. We're going to go back to stitching a single crochet in each stitch around, because this is now the top or the bag band of our bag. So we'll go in that first stitch and stitch a single crochet. So we'll be stitching one single crochet in each of the double crochets around. Now keep this in mind. I'm using these colors for breast cancer awareness. You can use this bag pattern for any of the awareness colors that you want to, or even use any colors that you want to. I just designed this bag with breast cancer awareness in mind. So I'm stitching one single crochet in each of the double crochets around the top of the bag. We'll stitch all the way around, and then we'll join to the top of that first single crochet. Remember, the chain one does not count as a stitch, so we'll join in the first single crochet, not the chain one. I finished stitching my row all the way around, one single crochet in each double crochet around. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet and chain one. Okay, now we're going to stitch 2 more rows of single crochet around for the top of the bag, and that's just going to give it a nice sturdy band. All right, so 1 single crochet in each single crochet around. We'll join to the first single crochet, and then we'll repeat that. And like I said, this is going to give us a nice sturdy band around the top of our bag. Just to repeat, 1 single crochet in each single crochet around, then we'll join to the single crochet and chain 1. And then we'll repeat that for 1 more row, and this will give us a total of 3 rows of single crochet. I did the 3 rows of single crochet around the top of my bag, and now I'm going to tie off. So I'll cut my string and tie off and pull that string to the inside so I can weave it in. Now we do have a few ends we need to weave in where we did our color changes, and we'll do that in a minute, but I want to show you next how to make the handles for the bag. And this is how that your bag should look. You've got your gray bottom, you've got your 10 stripes of pink, and then your gray top, just in case you're wondering how it should look. And it's up to you whether you want to do your handles in the pink or in the gray. I'm going to stick with the gray, and that's the way I wrote the pattern. So what we need to do is lay our bag flat, making sure everything's lined up, and then we're going to count over from this corner 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in that 6th stitch, we're going to join the color we chose for our handle and chain 1. We'll hold that down, and then we'll single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to make a nice sturdy handle with 5 stitches. So we'll chain 1, we'll turn, and we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 5 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. And what we're doing is we're making the handle already attached to the bag just to make it a little bit easier. Now we're going to repeat this for 20 rows. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows on there. It looks like, no, 1, 2, 3 rows, sorry. Chain 1, and we'll continue to do this for 20 rows. Now this is going to make a nice size handle. So if you want your handle a little longer or a little shorter, you can do more or less rows for the handle. All right. You can see that handle forming. It's a nice, sturdy, chunky handle. And we'll continue this, like I said, for a total of 20 rows across. And then once we get our 20 rows, I'll show you how to attach it. And then we'll need to make another one for the other side. The handle's going to go like this, and then we'll attach it over here. We'll again count 6 over and attach it over here. And then we'll flip the bag to the other side and make another handle so that we'll have 2 handles. All right. Chain 1 on there. So I'm going to continue on and make my 20 rows of 5 single crochets across, chain 1 and turn. And then I'll show you how to attach it to the other side. I stitched my 20 rows for my handle, and when you attach it, make sure that you don't twist it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do like we did over here, and we're going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want to make sure we line that up. So we have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. Okay, and I'm going to take this and turn it this way because we want to stitch some slip stitches underneath. So I'm going to recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, have you got that? We want it all lined up nice and neat. Forgot to do my chain 1. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. And make sure, look, make sure it's lined up on both sides so the handle hangs nicely. All right, so now we're going to go through the single crochet on the handle and the single crochet on the bag, and we're going to slip stitch across. Okay, 1. And we'll have 5 of them because we have 5 single crochets. Okay, here's our 5th one. All right, now we're going to cut that yarn and pull that through, and of course we're going to have to whip stitch that in, and this is the way that your handle will look. Now it's not a very big handle because this is a tote and this is going to stretch a little bit, but if you want your handle longer you can stitch more rows of single crochets here. I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to show you how to weave this in because this is very important that this doesn't come out. Okay, so here's the one we just did, and we want to make sure that we go through stitches, not holes. And I like to go up one way, and then my yarn's coming out. There we go. And then turn and go back the other direction. And if I have enough yarn, I'll do it again. Turn and go back. There we go. Just getting through some of those fibers, because we want the handle to stay on. If we're going to put a heavy book in there, or phone, money, wallet, whatever we stick in there, we want that handle to stay sturdy. And it's the same thing on this side. Go through stitches. Go one way. There we go. And if possible, go back the other direction. And this is also the reason I kind of wanted to keep the handle the same color as the last color that I used, because I want it to be able to weave those in and not have it show up. Okay, so there, I made sure everything's even. I've got the same amount of stitches here. And now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing I just did for my second handle. So we'll do the exact same thing. We'll count over the 6. We'll add it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll add it in, chain 1, and then we'll begin our single crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Then we'll chain 1, and we'll do this exactly the same way we did this handle, and we'll attach it the exact same way. Make sure you chain 1 at the end of those rows, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch across, making this handle the exact same way we made the first one. I've got both the handles stitched on. I got the ends all weaved in or woven in, however you say that. My bag's all tidied up. And now it's a nice size tote bag. And now I want to make the awareness ribbon so we can attach that. So I'm going to set the bag aside for now. And I'm going to grab my pink yarn again. And this is really, really simple. We're going to chain 24 chains. All right, here's my 24 chains. The first thing that we're going to do is place 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Here's our first one, so we'll go in the second and stitch a single crochet. Now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 9 chains. This will give us 10 single crochets. All right, let me count, make sure I have the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 single crochets. Now I'm going to place 2 single crochets in the next 3 chains. So here's the next one. We're going to do 1, 2. Then in the next chain we'll stitch 1, and 2. Then in the next chain, we'll stitch 1 and 2. And that gives the curl or the shape on the top of the ribbon. And now we're going to place 1 single crochet in the last 10 single crochets. And now we're going to place 1 single crochet in the last 10 chains. All right, and you'll see that that's going to make a nice curl. All right, so we're going to tie off, but we're going to leave a little bit of yarn, about 12 or 18 inches, and we'll use that extra yarn on the tail to sew it onto the bag. So let's go ahead and pull that through. Okay, now we do have this extra tail that we started with. So we want to go ahead and weave that in. So we'll just turn it over and we'll go through a few stitches on the back. There we go. And we'll just turn and go back through like that. And we'll go ahead and clip that off. All right, so now we have our curl, which is our ribbon, and it's going to sit like this. And when we sew this onto the bag, we can tack that down in the middle to hold it. If you were just going to use this by itself, you'd want to get a piece of yarn on your needle and tack that down in the middle. But since we're going to sew it right onto our bag, and I wanted to put it right there. And if you want it to stand out, you can use the gray and go around the edge with a slip stitch if you want it to stand out a little bit more. And let me show you how that's done. You're going to go on the edge on that outside loop, join your gray in, and just slip stitch. There we go. Around that edge. And by doing this, this will help it stand out against that pink. I like the way slip stitching around the edge looks, because it looks like it just adds a little braid on it. And it's just really, really pretty. I think it classes it up a little bit. And a lot of the awareness ribbons that are more than one color look great doing it this way. Okay, and now you can see when we go to put this on here that it stands out just a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. We're going to weave that in real quick, make sure we don't have any strings. Just go to the back, make sure you go through the gray. You don't want any of this to show through and make a stitch that, you know, shows through on the front. And we'll go ahead and clip that. Alrighty. And now let's do this on this other end real quick. And sometimes when I didn't leave myself enough, I'll take the end of the needle like this and then thread it, especially with working with some of these thicker yarns. There we go. And then I can just pull that through. And because this is going to be sewed on, it's not going to be going anywhere. All right, so now we have a nice pink ribbon that has a little bit of a trim so that it pops out. And we can use this to sew it in place. I'm actually going to bring it up a little higher. I kind of like the curl of it way up high. And I just put my thumb on it, and what I do is I go down and I'm going to stitch right next to that gray trim. Now you can use a pin to hold this in place or a couple of safety pins if you're more comfortable doing it that way. There we go. And I'm going to turn and go right up this curve, going right next to that gray line. There we go, making sure everything's even. I'm using a pretty blunt needle. Excuse me. I'm using a pretty blunt needle, so it makes it just a little bit tougher to get those stitches in there, but we'll do it. All right, so now I'm going through here so I can make sure it's going to stay put. And then I'm going to come on down to here. I'm going to turn this a little so I can get my thumb in there. There we go. And from here on out, I just keep on, there we go. I keep on sewing until I'm comfortable that my ribbon's not going to come off and go anywhere. I'm going to go down this side. There we go, and I just make stitches. Going ahead and using up all my yarn so that I know that ribbon's not coming off or going anywhere. And then I'll just pull it to the back and of course weave that in. So this is the way that your pink ribbon tote bag should look. You've got nice sturdy handles, a nice sturdy bottom, and the pink ribbon to represent breast cancer awareness. And this is a great size tote for taking with you for a small yarn project, a book, a notepad, your iPad, your phone, or your wallet. So like I said, this is the pink ribbon tote bag.